Good morning, class. Today our lesson is going to be over Still I Rise, which is a poem. So as you're coming in, I want you to pick up the 3 handouts that are going to be on the entrance of the class, and then I want you to start jotting down ideas that you have about a time that you overcame an obstacle in your life and how you overcame it. So the objections for today is we're going to analyze the poem Still I Rise, and after we do that, we're going to reflect by using this worksheet to help guide us. And I want you to answer the questions, and you're going to be able to work with your group, analyze this. You're going to discuss about like how each one of you interpret the poem, how you interpret it differently, if you interpret it differently, if not, see how you guys were similar. And then after that, we're going to do a rough draft of our own narrative poem based on your do now on how you overcame an obstacle. And you're going to be able to do your rough draft starting today. And then before you leave, we're going to have a Socrative quiz. It's only 2 questions, not that long. So for our guided questions, that's going to help us start off this lesson. So what have been your guys' experience with poems or poetry in general? Do you like it? Do you not? Have you had great experience with it? Do you like reading poems? Are you able to understand them? Yeah, I understand poems can be difficult to understand, especially with the wordings. They have a bigger message underlying within the poem. So you really have to read the poem, understand it, try to dig a little deeper. And so then that's going to go into our next question is, do you think a poem can have more than one interpretations? Yeah, I do think that your past experiences can affect the way you interpret a poem, whether you can relate to the poem. If you really can't relate to the poem and you're just like, I've never experienced this, that's okay. Nobody has to like the same poem. Everybody's entitled to their own differences. And then this is also going to be based off of our do now, which is when was the time you overcame an obstacle? If anybody wants to share now, you're more than able to. Yeah, I think that the way that was a difficult obstacle, but you overcame it really well, and you are able now to reflect back and see like, man, you overcame that huge obstacle, and now you can see that no matter what, you can always continue to overcome whatever comes in your way. So before we read the poem, there's some terms that you may not be familiar with, or you may have a different understanding of them. So I just went ahead and wrote them down. So the word twisted means unpleasant or abnormal. Beset means covered with. And then haughtiness means being arrogant, being superior, thinking you're all that. And then figure of speech is just a phrase used in a non-literary sense to give a vivid or rhetorical effect. And then sound devices are used to convey and reinforce the meaning or experience of poetry through a skillful use of sound. So if you have trouble, so those are questions within here. They give examples. So for sound devices, it's like alliteration, onomatopoeias, and then for figure of speech, it's kind of like metaphors, similes, personification. So look for that within the poem. So then this is the poem, Still I Rise. We're going to go ahead and read it as a class. I'll go ahead and read it for you. So, Still I Rise. You may write me down in history with your bare twisted lies. You may choke me into very dirt, but still like dust I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Because I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing from high, still I'll rise. Do you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I caught diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that rooted in pain, I'll rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide. Welling and swelling, I bear in the tides. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gift that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slaves. I rise, I rise, I rise. So this is the poem. Now that we've read it, I want you to go ahead and reread the poem independently. I want you to analyze it, see how you would have read it, how you interpret it differently, and then I want you to start working on the worksheet. Go ahead and answer the questions. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask me. So now that we have completed the worksheet, I want you to go ahead and talk with your group members. See how they interpret the poem, whether you interpret it differently, and then once everybody's done, we'll have a class discussion. And the class discussion, you're going to be able to share your interpretations of the poem, how you interpret it. You can say how you and your group members disagreed with the interpretations or how you couldn't relate to it at all. So anything, this is how you guys want to express how you interpreted the poem. So now that we've had our class discussion, this is your narrative poem skeleton. So what I want you to do is you're going to be able to fill everything in. So it's going to give you choose a setting, a character, and then you're going to brainstorm your narrative poem. So it has all these openings for you to fill it in, and then right here on the bottom of the page are your requirements. They tell you exactly what I'm expecting from the poem, and this poem is going to be based on the time that you overcame a challenge and how you overcame it. It must be 20 lines long. You can either write it by hand or type it. There must be an illustration that accompanies your narrative poem. So your illustration has to be either a certain piece from your poem that you want to make bigger or put emphasis on. It can also be a picture that you think incorporates your whole poem, the main ideas. So for the Still I Rise poem, what you could have done is, let's say, shoulders falling down like teardrops. You could make it, whether you want that to be your main representation of the poem, you can draw that. Or let's say she's rising, you can have like chains breaking, breaking stereotypes, breaking barriers. She's not going to be held down by her past or her ancestors or what society tells her she needs to be. So it can be however you want, whatever you want your poem to represent. That's how you can do it. And then please make them nice, color them, be creative. They will be posted along the classroom when we are done with them. And then as you're working on your narrative poem, and on the bottom of the page it has the grading rubric, so you'll know exactly what I'm looking for, how much points everything's going to be, and because your rough draft will be graded. And then you're more than welcome to discuss with your group members as you're brainstorming your ideas, as you're filling this in, get a sense of what everybody else is doing. So you're more than welcome to do that. So for tomorrow, I want you to have your rough draft completed. You're going to come in, we're going to revise and edit. You can do it with a peer, you can revise each other's papers, and then your illustration, you can finish it up in class because we will be posting them around the classroom. And if you want, you're more than welcome to read your poem to the class. We will set time aside for that for anybody who wants to go ahead and read their poems out loud. And before you leave, you will have an exit ticket. It's 2 questions long. It's going to be on Socrative, so make sure you have your phones and you pull up the app. I will give you the pin towards the end of class. And it's 2 questions long. It's one is over a vocabulary word, and the other one is going to be an open-ended response on how you think the poem, whether it was impactful for you or not, and whether yes or no, go ahead and elaborate a little bit more on why or why not. And so that'll be it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.